Hey, thanks for listening to the AZ12 podcast, proudly presented by Little Caesars. Great deal right now. You can put in code 15 off for $20, 15 off for a $20 order, and LCFREECC for a free crazy combo. Now, joined by Mr. TJ Benson and Jason Shearer, I am merely Mike Luke. Hello, TJ Benson. How are you doing?
Mike, Jason, what's going on?
Not much. First of all, I was going to say, busy summer so far for Mr. TJ Benson?
A little bit. Yeah, I mean, on the road. I guess you could say once last month, once this month. I mean, off season, I feel like we obviously recruiting is a lot of what we do, and kind of putting together rosters and whatnot. But no, it's been fun. And we weren't as active, I guess you could say, in the portal as probably some other people across the country, but with some young guys, talented guys coming in. But at the same time, like it's been good not to have to be trying to fill a roster of 12 guys like some of these other people across the country.
Right. Sure.
I remember back in like years ago, you'd have to drive from like high school gym to high school gym all over the place. Do you like this change with high school recruiting versus balancing the transfer portal? Does it make it more difficult? Just how do you kind of the overall landscape approach it?
No, I mean, I think that we're always going to want to build with high school kids. I think you have a lot of times, the highest upside with some of them, especially if you're getting the right ones, the most, some of the talented ones that we can bring in. But I think you always want to have a balance. I think it's just with this day and age in college basketball, just you got to have experience, you got to have talent. And obviously, if you miss out on some young guys early, you have the ability to go through some other avenues now to kind of patch things together. And it's you don't want to. Like I said, I don't envy the people that are only recruiting the portal, but being able to kind of do both and obviously having the relationships that we have across the board, I think it allows you kind of to put together a roster that makes a lot of sense on a lot of different fronts.
TJ, I've never seen, and again, the prep school thing is obviously something we'll get to in a second, but I've never seen so many kids in state that are actually, from Arizona and just a loaded, and again, we can't talk about it, obviously, but like back in the day, it used to be Mike Bibby, it used to be Richard Jefferson, Channing Frye, every 3 or 4 years. Now it's just a loaded state. What do you chalk that up to as far as just, I mean, is it just Phoenix growing or what is it?
I think, Phoenix growing, I think I guess you could say probably the love for basketball with a lot of these kids now. Growing up there myself, there's a lot of guys that I know and have known over the years that there's a lot of good basketball players. And I think being able to keep the best ones in the state has always been a priority, especially at Arizona. When you talk about, RJ, you talk about Bibby, you talk about Channing Frye, Jared Bayless,
Nick Johnson.
I mean, you go all the way. Yeah, Nick's a good friend. I mean, like growing up, like there's a lot of talent, and if you find the right ones, you can't take everyone. Like the roster's not big enough to do that, but you find the right ones that obviously make most sense for not only your program but for the fan base to follow and love. I think it's obviously a big deal at the end of the day, and I just think that. The state of Arizona has seen a lot of. I was actually texting with Greg Rosenberg yesterday, and he was talking about the best players to ever come out of Arizona and trying to, that are NBA guys and whatnot. And we were kind of going to like, he was saying like Jalen Williams. Oh, he's not considered from Arizona. I was like, he grew up in Denver or whatever it was till he's 7. He lived in Arizona for next.
That's like what Channing Frye is born.
He's from Arizona.
He's from Exactly. If you go to middle school and high school out here, you're from Arizona.
Exactly. He lived most of his life, and he comes back home to Phoenix, like him and his brother. So that's just one example. But no, I think that I kind of look back to COVID when Arizona was kind of the one state that was actually really open for basketball in the last kind of during that window. So you had a lot of those prep schools that were kind of coming up, and I think it allowed them to kind of get some kids that they maybe were not always going to get because they were actually kids could come here and play basketball. And I think it's stuck. And obviously the AIA has been really good. The last few years with with talented kids, and prep school scene is obviously something that has grown as well. Like I said, it's a good balance to have. And honestly, as an Arizona guy, I love seeing kids. I love seeing the state flush with talent at the end of the day.
What do you think about AZ-12 prep opening up maybe in a couple years? Is this something that you guys are going to be interested in?
You got me on that one last night. All right.
You're not the only one. You're not the only one.
But yeah, sure. By all means, go ahead and try to jump into that realm, and we'll see how it goes.
Sure.
Staying on in-state talent, obviously Koa. I know he's only been practicing for so long. What have you seen from him early on, and just kind of your expectations for him?
I mean, Koa's just the one thing that sets him apart from a lot of kids. It's just, I think he's a quick learner, and he's a willing listener. And obviously this week was the first few days we've been able to kind of work with guys, and it's not just him. I mean, Braden, Dwayne, those guys obviously are smart, young, talented kids, and just working with them for the few days that I've actually been here, they want the feedback. They want to be good. They want to be great. And I think with Koa especially, I mean, he wants to hear. You don't want to hear just what he's doing good. Okay, how do I fix this on this ball screen today? We had a workout this morning. He's asking me, he's like, hey, what do you think about that pass I made? He's a cerebral kid who works hard and obviously wants to be great. And not everyone kind of talks that talk a lot of times and says it, but actually acting on it and working at it is a completely different thing.
When you look at him and talk about obviously the recruitment a little bit, Arizona, Tommy Lloyd's done an amazing job with big men over the years. I mean, you look at it from Christian Coloco to Umar Ballo to Keyshawn Johnson to Zoo, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, so you got the next one coming in and Koa Pete. How do you see Koa kind of fitting in? What's that role? Are you still obviously figuring that one out?
I mean, we've told Koa for 4 years now, like, to be the most versatile player in the country. And I think being able to not only being with his versatility, but also being the hardest playing player in the country. And if you can if he can learn how to kind of combine those two things, I think he's got a chance to obviously have a really big, really great year for us. And we're dependent on that. But he's so athletic. He runs up and down the floor. I think just being Tommy says, Coach Lloyd talks about him being an effort monster. And if you can be a great rebounder, you can run the floor in transition, and you can just outwork, out hustle, energy a lot of guys, like, he's going to find ways to be more productive than a lot of kids throughout college basketball. And then you add in his skill set of being able to come off ball screens, to be able to set ball screens and play in short rolls. I think his ball handling and passing is, I think, something that kind of gets overlooked a lot of times because of how good of an athlete he is, and obviously some of the things he's able to do on the floor. But in our system, that's something that we value a lot. And you look at guys like Pella Larson, Keyshawn Johnson, Zoo, that have been in those positions before. Dalen Terry. I mean, when we were recruiting Cole, we talked about him. I mean, he's a point forward. He can be that kind of guy. And so just finding the ways, and it's going to take some time, obviously, with every one of our guys. And we have an idea of what they can do, but until they actually get here and you're with them on a day-to-day basis, you don't really figure out the true nuances of their game, regardless of how much you've seen them in the past.
Right. Sure.
When Evan Nelson entered the portal, me and Mike led the charge. We said this is an easy addition. That. What is it about him that makes sense for adding him to this roster?
I mean, other than him being a Harvard grad and being extremely smart, he's a kid that I'll say this, and I might have said this to you guys in the past, but I actually have a picture, and it's really weird because Majuk Dang was working camp this last week. I have a picture of me and Dan Marley with Evan Nelson and Majuk Dang at South Point High School like 9 years ago. Wow. And to kind of have it all come full circle, he's obviously done a great job at Harvard. working on his body, his shotting. He's a career 40% 3-point shooter. And it's not like he was shooting, he's making 0.5 per game.
Right.
I mean, he's making like 1.5 a game over the course of a career, which that's good. I mean, in terms of the role and the expectations for what we want from him, I mean, he just got to come in here and be a fifth-year guy who plays hard, plays the right way, makes open shots. And honestly, I think he's going to only get better, because at Harvard it was academics first, and so being able to be in the weight room this summer, being able to play against Jaden Bradley, Braden Burries every single day, like he's going to get a lot better, even for a guy that's going into his 5th year of college.
I think that's something that's interesting too about this class you got coming in. Now, obviously, you got 3 5-star kids, but these are guys that are physically now. Who knows how good they'll be, but they're physically ready. Not all 5-star kids are the same. Some you can look at it and it's going to be all right. You're 6-7 years from your. Some guys are ready to go physically. That's kind of had the look of some of these guys. Well, let's be honest, all 3 of them outside.
Mm-hmm.
Well, CD2.
No, it was great the other day. We did a couple small group workouts, and you had Evan Manning on our staff. He texted me and Rim afterwards. He goes, "Man, it's awesome having some pro bodies in there right now." Like, I mean, you look at Cole and Dwayne, they're 6'7", 230, 240. Tobe is 6'8", 6'9", 250. Mo 7'2". I don't even know what he is, but he's done a great job this offseason in his recovery. So like seeing those guys physically go against each other, I'm talking about our forwards. Like, I mean, Braden's a big guard. JB's a big guard. Like, it's great seeing those guys pull up against each other, and just the physicality and athleticism that is going to allow. And we're talking about the young guys, to give them a chance to play right away, and not just play, but to obviously be counted on, on a game by game basis with good sized roles. And that's obviously, I think things are resetting a little bit with no more COVID years. So you're not going to have as many 25 or 26-year-olds rolling around in college basketball. But I mean, that was kind of our mindset with some of these young guys, is these ones are physically ready to play basketball right now. And they're going to do a great job in the weight room this summer. They're going to do a great job on the floor, just getting acclimated. And we're not going to rush into things with them, because some of these guys have dealt with some injuries over the last 6 months, but we're excited with what we've seen, and it's only been 5 days, so it's a lot of fun to kind of be starting that process up again with a new group.
Sure.
You just mentioned Mo. Obviously, I don't want to say he's a bit of a forgotten guy, but obviously he didn't really play last season. In terms of what to expect, what people can expect from him, what would you kind of? I know it's hard to put numbers or other, but in terms of expectations,
and I'm not going to talk on those, but like,
right,
Mo's a stud. I mean, he's you forget how big he really is.
Right.
Like, I mean, when he's out there, like I said the same thing last summer when he came back into town, and obviously he ended up being hurt in the summer and going into the fall, but you feel his size. I mean, he's 7'2". I'm going to say 270, whatever. I mean, but he's done a great job with his body. I mean, he's moving great. Obviously, he's someone that you can throw the ball to in the post, and I think the big thing with Mo has been, his athleticism on top of his skill, and being able to be a lob threat and go up and dunk the ball. Don't be 7'2" and play below the rim. And I think for him, man, like he was going to be really good for us last year until that injury kind of slowed him down and stunted him a little bit. But he's healthy, and it's been great to kind of have him back out there. And you need guys like that. I mean, Jaden Bradley, Tobe, Mo, Anthony Delorso going into a second year with us. Like, those guys are going to be your leaders now. I mean, JB's going to, like, it's unheard of to have a guy, a third year point guard, in your program nowadays. But we got the right pieces there with those guys returning, who played a lot for us. You think about it last year. I mean, 3 of them started pretty much. In Mo, he was getting ready to maybe be a starter
Right.
before going down with his injury, and having those guys back to really be leaders for the young guys, even as talented as they are and as good as they are, to have that blend is huge, especially this day and age with so much roster turnover throughout college basketball.
Talk a little bit about adding Brandon to the staff. You got 3 fiery recruiters now with you, Brandon and Murph. Talk about it.
My guy Bezo. No, man, he's been awesome. I was with him on the road the last couple of days, and he's just got such a good energy and aura about him. I mean, he's someone that you start talking to him and kind of understanding where he's been and how he's done it and his journey, and he's going to be great with our guys. Hey, he recruited Koa when he was at Texas, so
right.
having a relationship there with a couple of our dudes already, and it's going to be a process for him to kind of learn our system and the way we do things, but he's aggressive with it, man. We were talking about some workout stuff yesterday and kind of a plan for the summer, trying to implement some things for him to be able to be a part of, and that's where like the sweat equity you have with guys in the summertime and in the fall with workouts is really where you start to have those relationships with coach and player start to develop and kind of take another level. And the same thing goes with our players. Like when they're grinding in these workouts and having fun with each other, playing pickup or doing stuff, going bowling in these summers, like you got to build that chemistry right away. And it doesn't happen right away, but you got to start with it. And with Brandon, man, like he's, like I said, it's a breath of fresh air having a good dude who, and more than anything, just being a great guy. Like you want to have good people on your staff, and obviously Coach Lloyd and being there to support him and help him out is our number one job as assistants, and Bezo definitely fits that bill.
Sure.
You've been to a couple NBA playoff games so far and got to see it. What has the playoffs been like for you seeing these guys be so successful?
I mean, it's a lot of fun, man. Like when I left Grand Canyon 6 years ago and being at Gonzaga for 2, Arizona for 4, it's a different level, for me. Like when I'm actually being able to see, like I coach Ben Mather and I coach Andrew Nimhard. Like I've gotten to know TJ McConnell, who's he played against my brother Casey when Casey was at Oregon, and TJ's been back a few times now. Like seeing what's going on in the playoffs, and honestly, Indiana, man, like they're fun to watch. They get up and press you 94 feet the entire game. They're up and down. I mean, I look at how much I'm sorry to say that they wore your Knicks down, Sheer.
Yeah,
but like when I was at Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals, I'm like, can New York not do anything in transition defense? Like it was like a made basket and they're just jogging back and the Pacers really pitching it over the top. And I know that's how we love to play. I mean, I think back of, the way Zoo used to run. I know Koa can be a guy that can do the same thing. Tobe, like you want to play fast and being able to get the ball out of your hands. But it's been fun to watch. And especially when you have a connection with players on a team, it really makes it that much more special. I mean, I think we all know how great Ben was, the 1 year that we got to coach him and some of the big moments that he had. And he's just wired differently. I mean, it just seeing him having 20-plus point games in the last 2 series and for a guy that he might only have played like 7 minutes in the game before, and to do what he's
Right.
doing, it's special to see. It's awesome to see. I couldn't be happier for him. I couldn't be happier for TJ. Like I said, he's obviously a great dude, and man, they're 2 games away from being world champs.
All right. 2 follow-ups, and then we'll let you go. Coach, I got a question, though, and this is something that everybody's been asking. How are you fitting in time to work out and work out the guns? You were getting really big there for a while, Coach. How are you doing this? How are you making this happen?
Hey, man, I don't even know if I want you guys to see me right now, because Tobe came in the gym last week this week. So I was on Tuesday, and I'm in there in the gym, and he's like, TJ, how much you lifting right now? He's like, I walking down the stairs, I didn't even recognize. Like, I'm like, oh geez, in the head. I'm like, and then you guys over here talking about me and TJ Otzelberger and
the arm wrestle for charity.
No, I've always liked to lift. I guess you could say it's bulk. I need to trim it down. It's summertime, so got to be able to lose a few lbs. But no, it's hey, I got to stay in shape. I mean, these guys are. I like to I don't get out there and play with our guys, but being able to jump in a workout and push them around a little bit, and it's just a different way to connect with them at the end of the day. And so for me, hey, I can't move very quick anymore. I can shoot the ball. I'll take any one of our guys on, and even with as much as I can throw some weight around, I still think I'm one of the best shooters in the gym every time I step out there. So, but yeah. Anyways,
and Coach, answer your question earlier from Greg. It's Mike Bibby by a mile. Mike Bibby's easily the best player I've ever seen in the state. It's not even close.
Oh no, I mean Mike's. I think,
did you ever see Mike in high school, or you?
I was middle school, so I think because he was obviously 90. I think he graduated 96.
96
when he graduated high school.
Yeah,
I was 04, so I was 10, but I remember going to the state championship game and watching him against Corona del Sol, which is
with
obviously
Lamont Long.
Yeah. Obviously, Lamont was in New Mexico, and Sam Duane Sr. was coaching those guys at the time. But no, obviously I'm 39, so over the last 39 years, I've seen a lot of guys in the state of Arizona who have been obviously big time players. I mean, from we talk about we were talking about Jared Bayless. Like I played against Bayless. He was a freshman when I was a senior. Beat him both times. I always let him know that whenever we see each other. But no, JB's good. Mike is, as good as Jared Bayless was, because Jared, I think, averaged like 37 a game one year.
Right.
Mike just made it look so easy. I mean, he was.
When you're the state player of the year as a sophomore, and it was he was just different. Anybody that saw him, you just know it was just different. And he was in that era too, where everybody was like, everybody wanted to be Stephon Marbury or Allen Iverson or somebody. Yeah. And then you got this dude with the John Stockton game.
Yeah. No, and obviously I recruited a lot. When I was at GCU, there's 3 kids that we got from Shadow Mountain, and I couldn't be happier for Mike getting the Sacramento State job too, man. He's obviously a guy that I've known for a long time, and just kind of through the basketball world, and then getting myself to Arizona and being around him. Like he's a great dude, and all those guys. It says a lot. He brought pretty much every single guy that's on his staff at Sac State was with him at Shadow Mountain, and they're all great dudes. And like I said, I hope they get it rolling over there.
All right, now TJ, before you sign off, can we get a back the A from you?
Man, I got one person that told me I wasn't supposed to back the A.
You are supposed to back the A.
I'm going to back the A. Come on now, Mike.
Yes. All right. The great TJ Benson. We very, very much appreciate you. You're the man, Coach.
I appreciate you guys for having me on.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, Coach.
All right, see you.
All right. TJ Benson right there. Yeah. Sure, TJ's the man. We like TJ.
Gotta love it. Always good, man.
It's awesome too. It's also awesome too. You got three guys that are all out on the road recruiting. It's awesome. And again, I think Brandon's going to be an awesome addition to this staff. You can already kind of tell they got good vibes, they got good camaraderie and everything.
And just to know, so everybody know how cool TJ is, there was a flight delay because he was coming back from the NBA Top 100 camp. Got back to his house at 3 a.m. and still came on the show.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Cool. It's awesome. Okay, now, everybody out there, get to Little Caesars, by the way. AZ12, the exclusive code, 15 off for $20.
Perfect time to eat them right now during the
Yeah, right. I got Little Caesars. The other day. Very, very hungry. Actually, it was last night. Very, very tasty. Foster Plumbing will be footing the bill for that one. But it was very good. All right, now, we are going. That was very funny. Also, you can use code LCFREECC to get free Crazy Bread. That's what I did. All right. Now, we're going to be back with you at 2 o'clock, post-game show.
Probably not 2. You're thinking a college baseball game is going to go 3 hours, but around 2.
All right, around 2, whatever. Yeah. Hey, yeah, we got Kobe L. Field joining us as well.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting.
Does he have a computer now?
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, he said that I peer pressured him into getting a computer.
Good.
Yeah, dude. How about yes, the plumbing sponsor is literally the best. Yes, it is. We were very, very excited about the plumbing. Yes. Okay, Kobe going to bring the pod. Now I asked Joseph. We'll have to be able to compare him to Joseph and see. So anyways, all right, everybody out there. Oh, by the way, real quick, do you think Greg Thompson is actually rooting for the U of A? And
absolutely not.
No chance, right?
No chance.
Dude, he unfollowed me.
Yeah, I think we put him in a bad place.
Yeah, I know. Well, sorry.
We're going to go back to Chip. Who cares?
Here's what it is, though, at the end of the day. Kobe L. Field was literally vile in his treatment of Chip Hale. Odious. Disgusting. Yes, exactly. But yes, exactly. Vulgar. But Kobe L. Field said, guess what? I was wrong. And we are all in for that, Kobe L. Thiel. Very good job. Crash out, Greg. Yes, vile. Yes. Kobe L. Thiel, you were vile. Some of the stuff, yes, you were vile. But you know what? You're a Gen Zer. We don't hate you. All right, well, maybe. All right, I'm just kidding with you. All right, on that note, though, everybody, we will be back.
Back to
We'll be
Chip.
back. Yeah, back to Chip, baby. Back to Chip. Ben one white. Ben one white. Back to Chip, baby. Back to Chip. Ben one white. All right, guys, we will be back with you. We will be back with you about around 2 o'clock. TTFN. Ta-ta for now. Back to Chip.